going on?
Not much. Do you guys want to go on WB and WFMJ? Is that what you want to do? Steve wasn't sure.
We're streaming on the app and website, so we want to route Max 1 and my mic into the encoder.
Okay.
He's got the weather mic.
So you usually go through production, don't you?
Yeah, but I figured since we're now past the newscast, we go through master. I didn't figure anybody be left in production.
I was going to keep Timmy here for,
not
you know, just for. Do you know how long you might be on, or how long we might be going?
At least a couple hours.
A couple hours. Yeah. Okay, I'll let him know.
All right.
Canceled for Summit. Continued for Mahoning until 1:30.
Hey everyone who might be joining us early here on YouTube. We're just getting organized in the Weather Center this afternoon, so bear with me while I continue to kind of get all my ducks in a row. Crawford now should be one. I can hear you. Okay, yeah. All right, appreciate it. Hey everyone, thanks for joining us early here. It is 1:16 p.m. and we're just getting organized with our online severe weather coverage this afternoon, so bear with us for just a moment while I continue to kind of share this stream. All right, thank you for joining us, everyone. It's 21 News Chief Meteorologist Eric Wilhelm here at 1:16 p.m. Meteorologist Andrew DiPaolo is in the Weather Center this afternoon as well, and this is day 4 of a little severe weather blitz across our area. Now, some of these severe weather opportunities haven't really panned out. Some have, and we've got a pretty good threat of some heavy storms across the area this afternoon. So let's start with the big picture, and then we'll kind of zoom back in. The first thing we need to know is a severe thunderstorm watch is out for our entire area, all of eastern Ohio, western Pennsylvania. That's all the counties in yellow. That severe thunderstorm watch is in effect until 8 p.m. this evening. We do think the severe weather threat will be over long before 8 p.m. It's mostly over the next few hours that we're going to have the threat for big-time thunderstorms. We have a cold front heading our way, and unlike kind of the random nature of a lot of our storms over the last few days, chances are most communities are going to see at least one storm today before the afternoon is through, with pretty organized stuff getting going ahead of our cold front. Now, that's kind of the broad view, severe thunderstorm watch for everyone. Now, as of 1:17, we have a severe thunderstorm warning that's out until 1:30 for the far western part of Mahoning County, and 2:15 for the rest of Mahoning County, and kind of the southern half of Trumbull County as well. Main reason why we have severe thunderstorm warnings out for those locations, it is wind. We've got some strong wind producers out here across parts of Portage County, and we're going to take a look at some of that data right now two areas of wind that we have to keep an eye on. One where you see the brighter reds here along 224, now well east of Barberton. Suffield, Randolph, coming almost due east. See those brighter reds? That's some strong wind out in Portage County. The other area of concern is a little farther to the north and east with some strong winds and some very weak rotation, I would say, near Palmyra and Charlestown. And this is getting set to head into the Craig Beach area in far northwestern parts of Mahoning County. So that's the those are the reasons why we have severe thunderstorm warnings out for the locations that we do have warnings. Earlier we had a warning that grazed far northern Trumbull. They probably drew that warning polygon a little too far south, and then they removed Trumbull eventually from the warning. This is primarily a problem for eastern Ashtabula County, heading up 7 towards Andover. There's some rotation with that storm, and so that'll become a problem for Crawford County, PA. And the Weather Service is continuing that warning until 2:15 for Crawford and Ashtabula. If you hear the screeching in the background, whenever someone in the National Weather Service chat room that we're connected to types the word tornado, it causes that sound and gets our attention, of course, immediately. So you're going to hear that in the background occasionally if you have your volume up, that is for sure. Nothing going on right now in Columbiana County. No warnings in effect for that part of our area. The active warnings are for the entire county of Mahoning right now. The western part just until 1:30, the rest of the county until 2:15, and then we're in a severe thunderstorm warning for roughly the southern half of Trumbull, including Warren, Niles, Lordstown, Mineral Ridge, Vienna, Yankee Lake, Hubbard, Newton Falls, all those locations until 2:15. You're not in this warning once you get north of Cortland, and from Southington on north, not currently in a severe thunderstorm warning. As we talked about when we started our live stream, this is kind of day 4 of a severe weather threat across our area. Now Friday's really fizzled. We expected a pretty big severe weather day Friday. Didn't happen. We had some things going against us, including some cloud cover leading to lack of instability. We had some scattered storms over the weekend. Some of them were pretty strong. And today is kind of the grand finale, if you will. Big changes are heading our way. If you're not a big fan of the kind of heat and humidity we have right now, real quickly, just check out the dew points off to our west. It's going to feel a lot different outside by this evening, and especially into the overnight tonight. Look how dry the air is out towards Chicago and Minneapolis. Boy, real refreshing change is coming our way. But at this time of the year, when you have a front that's this strong, typically it's going to come through with some noise, and that is the case today. We had some heavy storms at daybreak this morning, and a couple of midday or late morning storms that rolled through. And now this is kind of round 3, and this will be the most active of those 3 rounds. Not everyone had a storm early this morning. Not everyone had a midday storm. Most places are going to have at least a heavy shower, if not a thunderstorm, this afternoon. So again, for those just joining us here on the live stream, severe thunderstorm watch is out until 8 p.m. for all the counties in yellow, and that is all of our television viewing area, all of eastern Ohio, all of western PA. This is not a tornado watch, but a severe thunderstorm watch as designated in yellow. Now that being said, any storm this afternoon, while wind is the main threat, any storm, kind of like the last few days, they all just kind of want to twist a little bit. And so we're going to be keeping an eye out for possible rotation in any of our storms this afternoon, because the wind shear in the atmosphere is still present, and just enough that in some of the stronger storms, some rotation is going to try to form. So let's check back in on the Cleveland velocity data off the Cleveland National Weather Service radar. And if you're kind of new to this idea, all the red colors are winds blowing away from the Cleveland radar. So of course, since the Cleveland radar is near Cleveland, south and west of Cleveland, everything that's moving towards the Youngstown area is moving away from the radar. If we see any kind of darker grays or even greens next to those reds, that would be an indication that the wind is trying to spin a little bit. We're not seeing much of that right now, although we're going to watch these 2 areas. One near the Portage-Mahoning line right now around Craig Beach. Got a little bit of a signal right there, and another one out here. This is nothing all that strong on the radar, but they're areas that bear watching. At the very least, we have some strong winds embedded in this, and we're going to keep a close eye on it for possible rotation here this afternoon. Again, any storm is going to try to do this if it gets strong enough. We've got a lot of wind shear, a lot of changing of the wind direction, and most importantly, the wind speed with height. The wind down here at the ground is kind of mostly out of the southwest. The wind a few thousand feet above our heads is almost due west. So that's just enough twisting, along with pretty strong winds aloft. That also creates wind shear or turbulence in the atmosphere, spinning in the atmosphere. And if updrafts can tap into some of that spinning motion, well, the circulation can become, instead of horizontal, more vertical. And that's when you start getting rotating wall clouds and possible funnel clouds and things like that. We had a couple of those in our area over the course of the weekend. Let's do some storm tracks on what we've got going on out there. Everything is moving at a pretty good clip. What did they issue as the forward speed on that last warning?
For Mahoning?
For Mahoning.
Yeah, let me find it here. 60, hail under an inch.
So it's moving at 60?
Not moving at 60. Let me see here.
Actually, going to plug my computer to the Ethernet.
40 miles per hour.
All right, everything's moving at about 40. Let's split the difference between some of the. I've seen some slower speeds on some of these warnings. Let's just say everything's moving at about 35, just to split the difference a little. And we'll do a storm track for you here. Give you some approximate clock times for this initial round. Everything kind of moving in this direction. So we're talking here in the next 5 or 6 to 8 minutes in the Warren area, about 10 minutes or 15 minutes from now in Cortland. Columbiana will be a little after 2 o'clock. And so kind of the corridor from Youngstown down 11 towards Columbiana and keep going down 11 towards Lisbon and West Point and all the way down towards East Liverpool. You know, we're going to be getting into the 2 o'clock hour before a lot of this stuff moves in. But certainly sooner than that, before 2 o'clock, once you're west of Route 11 and closer to Austintown and closer to Salem and Sebring and Damascus and Hanoverton, places like that.
Something that's not in our viewing area, they're just going to continue to monitor that Ashtabula rotation a little bit.
So the Weather Service is continuing to monitor that rotation to our north up over Ashtabula. That's where the heaviest storm is right now. Look at all that lightning. No doubt there's some hail in here as well for our friends up in Ashtabula County. Let's look at the hail track real quick. And right over Andover, they are getting a doozy of a storm. Yeah,
oh, yeah.
Seeing some hail in there. And this storm has had a history of trying to rotate as well. Thankfully for our television viewing area, this is going to stay to the north. This will be a Crawford County issue. It's going to cross Pymatooning here real shortly and become more of a problem for Conneaut Lake and Meadville and other places over into Crawford County. We're not picking up on any hail right now with our warned storms that will be impacting our area. This is a wind threat coming across 224, coming across 76. These warnings are out primarily due to wind. They're going to cancel the warning for Geauga and Lake, but keep it for the rest of our counties. All right, on Facebook, Michelle is asking, do you think the warning will move over to Mercer County, or will we see some weakening before it comes through? A little hard to say. This is still a ways away from Mercer County, Michelle. Definitely want to keep an eye on it, that is for sure. Anything that does crop up this afternoon is going to have some legs to it. The atmospheric conditions are good for storms to keep their strength as they come east. There's going to be some pulsing up and down, of course, but these will have the ability to keep on trucking.
Got a picture in here
from Tyler. We got a wall cloud.
Yeah.
For our Facebook and YouTube viewers, I'm going to be able to show you, hopefully, yeah. Check out the wall cloud sent in by Tyler Berry. Where was he?
I-76 near Lords. Yeah. I-76 and Bailey Road by Lordstown.
I-76 and Bailey Road by Lordstown. This is a wall cloud or a lowering. A little hard to tell if this is a wall cloud or a shelf cloud. I lean a little more towards wall cloud. Sometimes wall clouds can rotate. Yeah. Sometimes rotating wall clouds can lead to a funnel. Definitely is something we're going to keep an eye on. So for those watching us on YouTube and Facebook, that's that picture from Tyler, one of our local spotters who's always sending some really good stuff. He always seems to find his way towards the best storms. A skilled chaser. So he's up in here somewhere. Now, interestingly, that's, at last scan anyway, pretty far away from where the radar was picking up rotation. Yeah, the rotation is a little more off to the west, at least with the last scan. South of Newton Falls, west of Lordstown, so he must be closer to in here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna retweet that.
Yeah, I can see that where if he's getting off on Bailey Road off 76, he's probably just off to the south of that little notch right there. So.
Yeah. Yeah, he's looking west-northwest. This is going to be something we're going to have to keep an eye on. If this continues showing some signs of twisting, the Weather Service might have to pull the trigger on a tornado warning. Also keeping an eye out 224 near Atwater, north of Limaville. This does not show as much in the way of rotation, but it's a little funky looking. It bears watching. Most concerned right now about that wall cloud picture we just got from Tyler. This storm is trying to rotate. Now, this does not look all that strong, but it's intriguing. This rotation signature is going in this direction. So heads up in Warren. You're going to want to stay with us. We're going to keep a close eye on this. Anyone in Lordstown and Warren and Leavittsburg and Howland, and maybe even the Niles area, although this may just go to the north of Niles. But anyone in the vicinity of the Warren area, stick with us, because we might have to tell you to jump into action here soon if this rotation signature were to continue. Right now, severe thunderstorm warning is out until 2:15 for this section of Trumbull County. The rotation now just west of Lordstown, just west of 45. Kind of crossing the turnpike when 80 becomes the turnpike. And of course this is near the big plant in Lordstown. And yeah, if you're downstream of this in the Warren area, stick with us. Don't check out of this. Don't check out of this live stream, because we will have to keep an eye on that and may have to tell you to take shelter if this looks to really threaten to produce a tornado. Right now, the rotation looks pretty weak on the radar, but we're going to keep a very, very close eye on that. Elsewhere off to the south, storms are pushing into western Columbiana County, crossing the border between Stark County and Columbiana, New Franklin up to Beloit along 62 near Alliance, Louisville getting a heavy storm. And also heavy storms are getting set to push out of eastern Portage County along 224 and 76 and back into the Craig Beach area, Lake Milton, in northwestern parts of Mahoning. For our friends over in Mercer, all is quiet right now, but stick with us, because all of this, of course, is pushing to the east. You'll be some of the last ones to get it this afternoon, but in Mercer and Lawrence counties, pretty good chance of at least some run-of-the-mill thunderstorms and perhaps even some severe weather as well. Lucy says it's in Niles, thundering and raining at the moment, definitely not going north of Niles. Well, Lucy, I was not talking about just the thunderstorm in general. I was talking about the rotation.
New warning for Stark.
All right, so new severe thunderstorm warning for Stark County until 2. So that's going to cover the southeastern part of Stark.
Looks like, oh yeah, Tyler just issued a new video. Interesting stuff.
All right, we're going to show
definitely a lower base and something trying to turn, but
again, for our YouTube and Facebook viewers, hopefully you'll be able to see this. I'm unfortunately not going to be able to show it for our app and website viewers, but yeah, some lowering shot by Tyler. Did he mention again where he was? Did he change locations?
Looks like Bailey Road near I-80, so probably that similar location. I'm trying to spot where he might be based off of turn the volume down here. Based off of the video, I'm going to backtrack real quick and pause it. I don't see any landmarks that are visible.
Yeah, you know, looking at this video, there's a little bit of rotation. I wouldn't say it's strong.
Yeah.
But intriguing, for sure. So Tyler is on this storm that's in Trumbull County.
Yeah, I would definitely say right in that notch right there on Bailey Road.
Let's put up the velocity data. one for Columbiana.
Yeah.
All right, the warnings are coming fast and furious now.
Yeah.
We knew we'd get busy this afternoon. Here's where that weak rotation is, as of the last scan of the radar anyway. We'll wait and see if we get a fresh scan here in the next couple of minutes. All right, but let's talk about the new warning that is out. This covers the southwestern part of Columbiana County.
This is also moving at 40.
So this is moving at 40 and is in effect until 2 p.m. this afternoon. This includes Hanoverton and Summitville, not quite to Salineville, although close, not quite to Lisbon, although close. So southwestern part of Columbiana County. The reason for this warning, again, wind primarily. Heavy ball of wind here between Canton and Malvern, along 30, just south of Louisville now. Query some of this wind. Yeah, there's some pretty strong gusts in here, and the radar beam is getting pretty high off the ground once we look at this area. So the Pittsburgh Weather Service office did extend the warning that was out for southeastern Stark down into their area, which covers Columbiana. So southwestern Columbiana, you are under a severe thunderstorm warning until 2 p.m., so 25 minutes. Let's go back up to our weak rotation near Lordstown. You know, if I were sitting in the hot seat at the National Weather Service right now, I probably wouldn't pull the trigger on a tornado warning unless I got some video or pictorial evidence of something.
Right.
Based on Tyler's video and based on the fairly weak signature here on the radar, this is trying to rotate a little, but I don't think it's much of a threat at the moment to produce a tornado. But heads up nonetheless, Lordstown and anywhere near Warren, Howland, heading up towards Leavittsburg, probably south and east of Braceville. The rotation itself is probably going to go just north of Niles, but it's close in Niles. And once you're south of Niles, well, you're getting a thunderstorm. The rotation itself, the weak rotation that we're observing, is probably just going to go to the north of Mineral Ridge, say. So again, for those watching, we're kind of looking at this area right here with a little rotation, some weak rotation. We've had some pictures and video sent in from the Lordstown area of perhaps a lowering, perhaps a wall cloud that's trying to rotate a little bit. Last scan, not quite as impressive. Maybe a little less impressive. Pretty soon we'll have to switch over to the Pittsburgh radar to track this, because we're getting pretty far from Cleveland right now. In fact, real quickly, let me just bring up the Pittsburgh velocity data. Yeah, we're still pretty far from the Pittsburgh radar too.
Yeah.
So, you know, the data gets a little fuzzy. Let's stick with Cleveland for a little while longer. So we're served by 2 National Weather Service offices in our area, Cleveland and Pittsburgh, 2 National Weather Service Doppler radars as well that we have access to. Cleveland's radar is on the southwest side of Cleveland, close to the Hopkins Airport. The other one is from the Pittsburgh International Airport, north and west of downtown Pittsburgh, near Moon Township. In some parts of our area, we're almost right in between. And so, depending on where we're looking, we want to look, of course, at the closest radar we can. The radar beam gains elevation as it leaves the radar site because of the curvature of the Earth. And so, by the time the radar beam hits some of this stuff that's in the middle of our area, it's going to be up at about 4,000 to 5,000 feet. So we're sampling the storm pretty far above our heads. Ideally, we'd want data, of course, closer to where we live, down on the ground. So that's why sometimes you'll see us hop between those individual radar sites, because we're looking for the best data depending on where the storm is. So for those, again, unfamiliar, it's sometimes why you see some discrepancies on why some counties are under watches and some aren't. The Cleveland Weather Service office in our area covers Trumbull and Mahoning. Pittsburgh covers Columbiana, Lawrence, and Mercer counties. All right, so our newest severe thunderstorm warning is out for southwestern Columbiana. There's a little bit of a gap in far northwestern Columbiana. And then up in Mahoning County, we still have an active warning until 2:15. This covers the entire county and also for the southern half of Trumbull. But some good news with this Lordstown storm. The last scan or two of the velocity data is not quite as twisty. And you know, our spotter up there, Tyler Berry's all over this. I'm sure he'll send us something interesting if he sees it. But again, for those just joining us, we're kind of keeping an eye on this area right here for possible weak rotation. Andrew, if you want to pop back there and see when we can maybe do a quick TV cut in.
They continue that Mahoning, Trumbull, Portage warning until
2:15.
2:15. Cancel the start. Yeah.
All right, so we're going to set up a quick cut in here on the TV side. But for those on our live stream, thanks for joining us this afternoon. I'm Eric. Andrew's here as well. Andrew's been here all morning long. It's been a busy morning. We had a round of thunderstorms at daybreak in some places, a little after daybreak. And then we had a midday round that impacted a few spots, non-severe at midday, but pretty heavy. And now this is round 3. The severe weather risk is going to be highest this afternoon over the next hour or two. This is going to end pretty quickly by late afternoon. Even though the severe thunderstorm watch, and I'm going to bring that up real quickly here, in all the yellow counties, all of eastern Ohio, all of western PA. This is in effect until 8 as issued. There's no way it's going to last until 8. It'll be discontinued well before 8. So we're going to want you to pay attention to the weather over the next couple of hours, moving from west to east across our area. The first area is getting it, of course. Parts of Trumbull, Mahoning, Columbiana, over across the state line, Mercer into Lawrence. You're going to have to pay attention to the weather, especially as we go into the 2 o'clock hour, and then things should wind down later in the 3 o'clock hour, and at the latest, by 4:35 at the latest in our eastern television viewing area. So the watch is out until 8 right now, but I guarantee it will be discontinued well before 8 p.m. This line is with a cold front. That cold front is going to bring much drier air in later today and into tonight. All right, so our heaviest thunderstorm in our viewing area right now is in southern Trumbull County, Lordstown area, over to Niles, over to Mineral Ridge. This is a vivid lightning producer. Heavy rains as well. Let me actually gonna find our Niles camera. Give me just a moment.
Yeah, Eric does. Yep. Eric.
Yeah.
141.
All right.
It's gonna be the cut in 45 seconds. Is that long enough?
Yeah, it's fine. Is he gonna talk me on IFB?
Oh,
I hear you, Timmy. All right. This is our camera in Niles. Pretty good gully washer, although it's not the camera's not rocking and rolling. Okay, we're gonna go on TV in about 30 seconds, so I'm gonna step away from the live stream, do a little business on TV. I'll be right back with you. Are you going to have me on camera, Timmy? Okay, we can go whenever you're ready. Let's just take max 1 in my voice. Good afternoon, everyone. Now we have a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings out for our viewing area this afternoon until 2 p.m. southwestern Columbiana County. A lot of southern Trumbull County and all of Mahoning County in a severe thunderstorm warning this afternoon until 2:15. Right now, the heaviest storm is in southern parts of Trumbull County, now east of Lordstown over towards Mineral Ridge, Niles, and into the Girard area. Any thunderstorm this afternoon will be capable of producing strong winds, perhaps some hail, certainly some heavy rain, and we also can't rule out isolated weak tornadoes with any storm this afternoon. The main threat will be over the next hour or two, and we have a live stream ongoing right now on WFMJ.com, the 21 News app, the Storm Tracker 21 app, and our Facebook and YouTube channels as well. Stay safe. All right, thank you. All right, we're back here on the stream this afternoon. With fresh warnings out, it's always a good idea to pop in on TV and give our television viewers a heads up as to what's going on. So it is 1:42, and we still have a heavy storm in southern Trumbull. Although, thankfully, the rotation that we noted earlier has gotten very, very weak. So we're not noting any sort of substantial rotation currently as this moves through the Mineral Ridge area and Niles as well. If anybody sees anything interesting, make sure to to tweet at us and let us know. And if you're on Facebook this afternoon, we'd appreciate it if you could let us know there as well. We've got a pretty good audience on Facebook this afternoon. Thanks to everyone for joining us. This is the grand finale kind of a 4-day severe weather blitz. Now, some of this blitz has been pretty weak. Fridays didn't really pan out. But we had some heavy storms at times over the weekend. And this afternoon, a good chance that your location will see at least one pretty good summertime thunderstorm and a possibility of severe weather as well. Our freshest warning now, western Columbiana County, raining pretty good now from New Franklin across the border towards New Garden and heading up towards Sebring, along 62 coming west of Salem. If you're going from Salem out towards Louisville and Canton, you're going to encounter some drenching downpours and some heavy amounts of lightning as well. And I'm going to do a quick look at the wind velocity data for this part of the storm off the Pittsburgh National Weather Service radar. And where these brighter greens, again, green colors means all the winds are blowing towards the radar, which is north and west of Pittsburgh. Where the brighter greens are occurring, those are where the strongest winds are, mostly now near New Franklin, right on the Stark Columbiana line. Also, Malvern area. Heavy winds between Minerva and Malvern, especially towards Malvern. So we've really got to watch this part of the line right here that's going to be a little more aimed at Carroll County and mostly a miss for southwestern Columbiana. Still some strong winds near New Franklin and coming into southwestern Columbiana, but it looks to me like the overall strongest winds with this particular segment of the storm are coming into Carroll County. Now eventually, this will cruise through the northern part of Carroll County and this real heavy wind might just graze the Salineville area. That'll be a close call. Right now it's going to impact a lot of northern Carroll County. So for good reason, severe thunderstorm warning has been issued, and I'm not going to be surprised if they extend that warning farther east to capture more of extreme southern Columbiana and eastern Carroll as well here pretty soon. Elsewhere up in Mahoning County, we have heavy thunderstorms now from Austintown west. And if you're heading west of Canfield on 224, you're encountering some heavy storms around Ellsworth and heading out towards Berlin Lake. The wind is not particularly impressive right now on the radar with this part of the storm. Weather Service is saying heavy storm, but no warning for the rest of Carroll County and off to our south and west. So we're not going to worry about that statement right now. If you're watching us from northern Trumbull, you are under no warnings right now in Kinsman and Mespo and Bristol and north of Cortland up towards Mecca. And you might be in the middle of a little 7-10 split here with the heaviest storms right now going off to your south and also to your north. Kind of lucking out for the time being in northern Trumbull County. Keep an eye on everything in Mercer County. Now, a lot of the really heavy action is going up towards Crawford County, up towards Pymatuning. But in Mercer County, you got to keep an eye more on the stuff in southern Trumbull and into Mahoning as well. Let's put a loop on the radar, give you a sense as to what direction everything's moving. I'm gonna actually turn off the warning layer for just a moment here so this looks a little cleaner. Everything's moving at a pretty good clip off to the east. And so that will mitigate the flash flood risk, certainly. The forward speed of everything, we like to see that. And then the big question is, once we're done with this line, are we done for the day? Not seeing much off to the west of I-71, certainly. Our actual front, let's plot up those dew points once again. Our actual front is still pretty far west of 71, so I'm not going to guarantee at this point that stuff isn't going to try to pop up again behind this main line, even though I think it's a pretty small chance. Once the front clears, we'll certainly be in the clear, and again, open up the windows tonight. It's going to feel a lot different outside. But certainly the busiest part of the afternoon is right now and over the next hour to maybe hour and a half. Once this clears eastern Mercer and Lawrence County, the severe weather threat overall is going to diminish rapidly. We'll keep an eye on the radar to our west, but I doubt a whole lot is going to pop up behind this line. Let's check in on the wind threat again near the Carroll-Columbiana border. Yeah, right now the strongest winds are in the Teal area, right here. So just south of Minerva now and kind of scraping the northern part of Carroll County. We're going to keep an eye on that for our viewers in southern Columbiana County. Elsewhere in Columbiana County, the other kind of pocket of heavier winds is now pushing east of New Franklin. This is impacting, of course, 172 and coming across towards Guilford Lake eventually. And we'll keep an eye on this in the Lisbon area as well. In a relative lull, once you get up towards Salem and Sebring along 62 and over towards Latonia, not much going on wind-wise right now. Although we are getting some bouts of heavy rain and occasional lightning and thunder in that area. Pretty routine thunderstorm ongoing right now in Mahoning County. Not seeing a lot of evidence of anything particularly strong in through here. Certainly a hard downpour with some lightning and some gusty winds. Whether these winds are meeting severe criteria, 58 miles per hour in gusts, it's marginal, I think, right now. But it's windy at times, certainly, near Ellsworth and just south of Ellsworth, going down 45, Western Reserve Road. And once you're up towards Kirk Road, Palmyra, Turner, Kirk Road near 62, is certainly some gusty winds in through there. Probably a little below severe criteria. Thankfully, the rotation in Trumbull County has diminished. We haven't got anything fresh from Tyler, have we?
Nope.
All right, so that's good. We know one of our best spotters, Tyler Berry, is on that storm in Trumbull County, and he sent us some pictures and video earlier of some weak rotation near Lordstown, but thankfully that is weakened some. Let me check in on my Facebook comments here. Colleen says the power is out in West Austin town. So we've got some power outages out there. Some of these power outages predated our weather this afternoon. Some of these were either not weather related or possible residual from early this morning.
PVZ continued for the warning for Columbiana until 2 o'clock.
All right, so they're going to let that warning in Western Columbiana ride for another 10 minutes. And we'll see if they extend it into far southern Columbiana. Guess I wouldn't be surprised if places like Salineville and maybe down towards Wellsville got in on that warning eventually, because there's a pretty good pocket of wind in northern Carroll County. So yeah, we're getting some reports of some power outages in parts of our area. Again, some of this predated some of the heavy weather this afternoon, so some of it may be residual from this morning, some of it may be non-weather related, some of these outages.
Cleveland just reported for Ashtabula $half size hail up there.
So up in Ashtabula County earlier on near Andover, they had $half size hail. That's pretty big hail for our area. That's something we don't see all that often. That's more plains style hail. So real quickly, we'll just peek at that, even though that's kind of north of our area.
They expired that warning for sure.
All right, so the Stark County part of the warning has expired. Yeah, there's that big hail track that moved through the Andover area earlier, starting to diminish some as it comes into Crawford County, but yeah, $half size hail. That was at 1:25 p.m. Ping pong size. That's some good hail. We are observing no significant hail in our area right now. Let's look at the current hail scan. Might be some peas. Yeah, probably not actually. Maybe earlier we had some peas near Craig Beach, but not seeing that right now. And all looks quiet hail-wise in southwestern Columbiana. The southwestern Columbiana part of the warning is all about the wind. This is a wind threat of 50 miles per hour plus, especially near the Carroll-Columbiana line right now, mostly south of Route 30. Heavy thunderstorm coming into Hanoverton and New Garden, up towards New Franklin and Minerva. We're still getting vivid lightning up there. This is still mostly north of Carrollton, but of course everyone in Carrollton's in Atwood Lake area, out towards Delroy. Hopefully everyone's getting off of Atwood Lake right now. Let's check in on the wind data. The greens and teals, all winds blowing towards the Pittsburgh radar. The blue colors or teals are stronger winds. Quick query of the winds, northern Carroll County. 60 plus miles per hour in that teal area. And again, if we loop this, this may try to graze southern Columbiana. Close call. So heads up in Salineville and maybe eventually down towards Wellsville, although a lot of this might try to just dive to the south of our southern Columbiana County areas. The wind is strong, but not quite as strong right now, coming across into the Hanoverton area. If you've got anybody you know that's on Guilford Lake right now, shoot them a text, give them a call, tell them to get off the lake, because you don't want to be out in this for sure with the kind of lightning and wind that we have coming in. So heads up on Guilford Lake this afternoon. Things are pretty tame by comparison in Mahoning County. Although, a little bit of burst of wind there denoted on that last scan. Right there, some brighter greens. And this particular pixel along Kirk Road is showing 40 to 45. We're going to continue.
Warning for Mahoning. Yeah, it's 2:15.
So our Mahoning and Trumbull warning will keep on roll until 2:15. So we've got 1 pixel of brighter colors here with stronger winds. Kirk Road, Turner Road, near 76, Mahoning County. So heads up coming into the Austintown area, and especially between Austintown and Canfield, eventually on 46. Coming between Austintown and Canfield, you're going to have to watch that. That's the only pocket of heavier wind I see right now in a lot of Mahoning County. Things are looking a little weaker again once we're up into Trumbull County. And again, we're watching all the stuff to the west for those over in Mercer County. Quick reset for those just joining us. If you've been watching for a while, this can get a little repetitive, I know, but that's the nature of severe weather coverage. People hop in and out and join us late and that sort of thing. For our entire television viewing area and surrounding counties, severe thunderstorm watch for all the counties in yellow runs until 8 p.m. But this will be discontinued well before 8 p.m. I think the severe weather threat for our television viewing area is over the next hour or so, and then probably by 4 at the latest, we're in the clear. So the Storm Prediction Center usually gives quite a bit of buffer on these watches, and then it's up to the local National Weather Service offices to discontinue them early at their discretion. So the Storm Prediction Center is based in Oklahoma. They're the ones responsible for issuing the big watches. The individual warnings and then the discontinuation of the watches, that's the responsibility of our local National Weather Service offices in our area served by Cleveland and Pittsburgh, of course. And again, I said this earlier in case you were with us, the Cleveland NWS in our area covers Columbiana, covers Lawrence, and covers Mercer. That's the Pittsburgh office. Cleveland covers Mahoning and Trumbull. Really think our heaviest storm right now is the one in western Mahoning. Still a lot of lightning up in southern Trumbull, but not as much wind as earlier. We're getting a doozy of a storm now in Hanoverton. Let's do a storm track on this as it comes east. Let's say it's moving at 35 or 40. And we'll keep it going east like this. Just some approximate times here. Coming into Lisbon in about 5 or 6, maybe 10 minutes. So again, Lisbon, Guilford Lake area, heads up. You want to be out of the way of this. Columbiana, 2:05, so about 10 minutes from right now. And Wellsville, Calcutta, Glenmore, West Point. Those locations maybe a little bit closer to 2:15, 2:20, maybe 2:30 or so once you're down towards East Liverpool. And then over into western PA into Beaver County as we get a little bit closer to 3 o'clock. Heavy storms moving through Mahoning County. Let's do a quick check of our wind data. Saw that one little spike of wind with the last scan. This is off the Cleveland radar. Let's look at the Pittsburgh radar. The colors are going to flip here. We're going to go to green as we're switching sources. Yeah, there's a little pocket of decent wind, but probably non-severe. Raccoon Road now. Not real concerned about that. Let's look at our Niles camera to see what's going on up in Niles. Still raining up here. Notice the wind has died down completely. The trees are barely moving at this point. Where's our other active camera? Where's camera 1 right now? Is that Columbiana?
Oh, yep.
Let's take a look at our Columbiana cam. This says Boardman, but it is Columbiana. Andrew, if you could switch camera 1 over to Boardman.
Yeah.
We'll hop up to Boardman and take a look.
Sure. And then PBZ just issued a warning for Columbiana and Lawrence.
Yeah, so we're gonna get
45, yeah.
we're gonna get a new warning covering that western Columbiana.
You want
storm.
a camera 1 Boardman?
Yeah, let's go to Boardman on camera 1. And we're looking.
East, I believe.
Yeah, we're looking east towards Poland here on 224. Of course, Southern Park Mall on the right. So darkening skies, and yeah, we're about to get wet here, no doubt. Let's take a look at where the new warning is. All right, so the new warning polygon covers the rest of Columbiana, basically. So they're gonna just paste the rest of Columbiana with a warning here until 2:45 this afternoon. That's where our heaviest storm is right now, coming across 30 in Columbiana County from Summitville through Hanoverton, approaching Lisbon. No doubt it's getting real dark in Lisbon right now. Heavy storm moving through Salem.
and if you wanted to flip it back to Boardman, I flipped it to the west.
Okay.
So looking west right now, 224 in Market Street, a few raindrops out there, and definitely pretty dark.
Yeah, this is looking the other direction now,
Yeah.
Boardman, and starting to rain. Not seeing much in the way of wind right now, but definitely darkening skies and rain pushing into Boardman. Maybe we can zoom that out some.
Yeah.
Let's see if we have any shelf cloud action or anything coming in. Not a whole lot there. Don't see anything too dramatic. Alright, so threatening skies in Boardman with rain pushing in. Let's go back to the radar. Pretty garden variety stuff, I would say, coming across in Mahoning County. You know, a thunderstorm with some briefly gusty winds, some claps of lightning, some heavy rain, but probably well below severe limits at this point. The warning will run for another 15 minutes. The heavier storm is down in Columbiana County. Just got a Facebook message from the Lisbon area. Let me take a look at that real quick. Let's see what was passed along. Yeah, there's some darkening skies there. Thanks to Michael for sending that in. He sent me a picture of some darkening skies in Lisbon. No doubt, things are getting dark in Lisbon, and we've got a pretty good thunderstorm pushing in. Let's check out the wind data. Let's go to the Pittsburgh radar. Alright, where we're getting these brighter greens and teals, that's where the strong wind is. This warning is definitely justified, I think, as this strong wind is coming towards 164 and 45 in central Columbiana County, approaching the Lisbon area. This thing is still flaking out. I'm going to redo it again. Just rebooting a computer. Some technical issues on one of our other computers. Never fails in severe weather. Let's query the wind here a little bit that's coming through western Columbiana County. You know, radar's picking up on 60+ mile per hour winds here right along 30. That is a no fun drive right now on 30 between Hanoverton and Lisbon. Going down 644 in the far western or southwestern corner of Columbiana. Some strong winds in Summitville. In the far northern tip of Carroll County now. See these kind of teal blue colors? Yeah, that's some strong wind. Just east of 9 now. Wow. Radar's picking up on 70+ mile per hour. Now this is pretty rural area, but yeah.
Some winds earlier this morning with that line that raced across northern Ohio, similar numbers than that. We didn't see that locally, but just off to our north, similar numbers, 65, 70, maybe up to 73, 74, some, you know, that criteria. So
yeah, Andrew's been here for a long time today, and that initial round of storms that moved through parts of northern Ohio this morning really meant some business. I woke up and saw already we had some severe thunderstorm warnings, so it was a fast start to the day. And again, for those just joining us, this is day 4 in the kind of the grand finale of a 4-day severe weather threat across our area. Fridays didn't really pan out, thankfully, but we had some heavy storms here and there over the weekend, and today with the cold front coming through, and probably our best chance of seeing severe weather today is right now. I think things are going to wind down pretty quickly this afternoon, but we gotta really watch this down in Columbiana County. Not seeing any signs right now of any rotation with this. Not seeing any kinks in the line. Sometimes in these bowing segments of thunderstorms, the front edge gets a little bit twisty, and little spin-up tornadoes can occur sometimes in those. I don't see any evidence of that right now, but certainly some strong wind. And if you've watched my severe weather coverage many times before, you know you've heard me say wind is wind, and if you're getting a 65 mile per hour gust, it doesn't have to be a tornado to cause a lot of problems. A 65 mile per hour wind gust is the equivalent of an EF0 tornado. And so they can cause the same kind of problems. People underestimate sometimes just plain old thunderstorm winds because tornadoes are what gets all the buzz. You don't need a tornado necessarily to cause a lot of wind problems. We're going to stay with this Columbiana storm mostly because I'm not real impressed on what's going on to the north. Heavy storms moving through Vienna and coming into Yankee Lake and Sharon, Hermitage, Coming into Youngstown, I can hear the rain on our roof. Down towards New Middletown, but all that looks to me to be mostly severe, below severe limits right now. We're going to stick with this mostly because some legit severe winds coming across in Columbiana County. Summitville and up towards Lisbon as well. If you're watching us just east of this, now's the time to secure loose outdoor items in West Point, Elk Run, Rogers, heading down towards Glenmore, Calcutta, even as far south and east as Wellsville, East Liverpool, and as far east also as East Palestine. You're going to want to secure those loose outdoor items. If it was your trash day and the trash can is now empty and could blow around more easily, go out and get it real quick and secure it. Make sure that you have trampolines secured in the way of this. We see videos and pictures of flying trampolines all the time in big-time thunderstorms. And right now there's evidence that we have 60-plus mile-per-hour winds associated with this line that's coming across Columbiana County right now, from Lisbon towards Summitville, and all of it is racing off to the east. You don't have much time to prepare for this if you're watching us from say, West Point and Yellow Creek and Glenmore, Calcutta, and up towards Rogers and Nagley. You don't have a whole lot of time, so run outside now and secure anything loose outdoors. And maybe close your windows to your house if they're open. If you don't have air conditioning or it's not running and you've had your windows open.
Cleveland went ahead and canceled that severe thunderstorm warning for Mahoning and Trumbull.
All right, so our warning in Mahoning and Trumbull has been canceled. So again, Mahoning and Trumbull, the warning has been discontinued. So now our only active warning is this doozy of a storm that's coming through Columbiana County right now. This is racing, so again, it's not going to be around for long, but if you are downstream of this, you got to really watch it. Really strong winds. Let's query some of those winds again. There's a 55, there's a 55, there's a 62. You get the idea here. Take this seriously. Take it as seriously as you would a low-end EF0 tornado. We're talking about kind of equivalent winds to that. If you're downstream of this, take it seriously. Anyone along 45, coming over towards Glenmore, up towards West Point. It's coming through Lisbon right now. It's pounding Summitville, 30 and 644. It's moving just east of Hanoverton now, and then the wind does diminish some as you go off to the north of Lisbon. It's not quite as strong, heading north on 45 and north on 11, closer to the Mahoning line. It's not quite as strong once you're up towards Washingtonville and Latonia, but really strong winds from Lisbon on south and west. Andrew, if you could check with Timmy, and I don't know if Timmy's still listening to me back there. We're going to do a TV cut in. Tim, we're going to do a TV cut in here. So let me know when a good time for that is.
Okay.
Hi everyone, it's 21 News Chief Meteorologist Eric Wilhelm here this afternoon. We're breaking into coverage real quickly this afternoon to tell you about a severe thunderstorm warning that's out for Columbiana County, and now especially in the eastern part of Columbiana County. Take this storm seriously. We are tracking some very strong winds associated with this storm coming through the central part of Columbiana County right now, from Lisbon and Elk Run south and west towards Summitville. Some of these brighter greens and teal colors indicative of wind gusts in excess of 50 or even 60 miles per hour coming east. If you are downstream of this in the eastern part of Columbiana County, secure any loose outdoor items now and be prepared for some serious wind coming east. Again, this is racing eastward at a pretty good clip, so it's not going to be around for long, but as this comes through, expect some very strong winds, especially now east of Lisbon over towards Rogers and Elk Run, and heading down towards Glenmore, Calcutta, and eventually perhaps as far east as the East Palestine area as well. Severe thunderstorm warning runs until 2:45. Our live streaming coverage continues this afternoon on our Facebook channels, on my YouTube channel, as well as WFMJ.com and the 21 News and Storm Tracker apps. Hope you'll join us over there for the rest of the region. Our severe weather threat does continue, although this is the only active warning. So again, join us with our streaming coverage. Now we'll get back to regular programming on television. Thank you.
So we got PBZ issuing a severe thunderstorm warning. I lost my place here. Continuing the one for Columbiana till 2:45.
I heard the tornado tag.
Yeah, that was for Crawford.
For
County.
Crawford,
Yeah,
all right.
with the tornado possible for Crawford. So they're going to continue that warning for Columbiana and Lawrence till 2:45, and then hail possible of up to 1 inch, winds at 60 miles per hour. So
Okay. All right, we're back with you here on the live stream. We were just doing a quick TV cut-in to let everybody know about this severe thunderstorm that's moving through Columbiana County, and we're kind of catching up here in the Weather Center on some of the products that were issued by the Weather Service while we were doing that TV cut-in. Still some rotation far north up near Crawford County in northwestern PA. I'm not observing any rotation right now with our Columbiana storm, but we want you to take this seriously because, again, wind is wind. And a 60-mile-per-hour wind gust can cause very similar problems to a low-end EF0 tornado. And we're observing some very strong winds right now along the intersection of 164 and 518 near Wayne School. Let's query this. Where you don't want to see blue colors on this radar product because these are winds blowing towards the Pittsburgh National Weather Service radar. In other words, kind of a westerly wind here, 50 to 60 miles per hour. Not seeing the wind quite as strong on the northern fringes of this once you're up towards Elk Run along 154. Again, though, Elk Run to Rogers, take this seriously. Batten down the hatches. Some brief, very strong winds coming across. A little more concerned, though, about this batch just to the south of Lisbon now, rolling right across 518 and coming towards West Point. So near the 11 and 30 and 45 interchange, right around West Point. You're going to want to take this very seriously. And the southern tier of Columbiana County, from Salineville on east, anyone near Yellow Creek, anyone along 39, Highlandtown, and over towards Wellsville, you're going to want to stick with our live stream as well. We're going to watch the progress of things, and we still have some very strong winds out into Carroll County now, north and east of the Carrollton area, between Carrollton and Salineville on Route 39. For the rest of our area, the severe thunderstorm warnings have been dropped for Mahoning and Trumbull counties. Let's look at the radar real quickly and check in on our viewers there. We're getting some pretty routine thunderstorm activity right now around Poland, heading up towards Hubbard, into the Sharon vicinity, and just some light rain, Warren, and into the western part of Mahoning. And again, to the north and west, very little, if anything, going on. So the severe risk is going to be highest here as we speak. And then things should settle down pretty quickly once this line continues making eastward progress through our area. Also not going to be surprised if we're now picking up on some hail down in Carroll County. I'm going to look at that real quickly here. I know this is out of our TV viewing area, but I know we do have some viewers who like our live stream out into the Carroll area. And yeah, some hail in the Carrollton area right now and just to the east. Probably getting at least some pea-size, perhaps even up to quarter-size hail through there. Up in Columbiana County, not noting any hail with our storm, but a lot of wind. All right, we still have 300 people watching us on Facebook. Thanks to everyone for joining us this afternoon. Busiest part of the day, severe weather-wise, right now and over the next hour or so. Once this clears the eastern part of our viewing area, we're looking pretty good for the rest of the day today. The severe thunderstorm watch for our entire area, let me zoom out and look at that real quickly here. It was issued by the Storm Prediction Center and technically runs until 8, but on the western part of this watch, in other words, in eastern Ohio, on the panhandle of West Virginia, and western PA, this is going to be discontinued well before 8 o'clock this evening. The National Weather Service offices in Cleveland and Pittsburgh, that'll be up to their, that's in their jurisdiction when those watches will be discontinued, and I guarantee they'll be discontinued well before the original expiration time of 8 o'clock.
Some trees down up towards Crawford County.
Yeah, so the heaviest storms right now are in Columbiana County and up into Crawford County, PA.
Right by Conneaut Lake. Just over the county line.
Yeah, Conneaut Lake area and heading over towards Meadville right now. That is a doozy of a storm with hail and strong winds, and they had some circulation earlier with that. In our TV viewing area, Columbiana County is getting it the worst right now, and this is plowing through Columbiana County. Conditions deteriorating very rapidly. Rogers, Elk Run, Nagley. and coming into the Calcutta area soon, and anyone heading up 170, anyone out at the Beaver Creek State Park, if you know someone who might be hiking or doing anything out there, maybe they don't have great cell service, maybe try to get a hold of them anyway. Maybe they're not plugged into the weather, and tell them they're going to have a doozy of a thunderstorm that's going to come through Beaver Creek here before too much longer. Just got a picture of a wicked-looking storm cloud up over Pymatuning. I can show you that real quickly here on Facebook and YouTube. This is up near Pymatuning. Good shelf cloud. Gust front coming out from that storm. Rain-cooled air coming out. Boy, I wouldn't want to be this guy sitting on his boat on the lake. That maybe not the best idea. This guy right here. That's maybe not the best idea. But that's from earlier near Pymatuning. Down in our TV viewing area, Columbiana County getting socked right now with a severe thunderstorm that, again, we want you to take this seriously. Glenmore, Calcutta, heading up 170 and up 7 into the eastern third of Columbiana County. We're getting a very gusty thunderstorm rolling through. We never like to see, when we're looking at wind velocity data off the Pittsburgh radar in our area, we never want to see these bright greens and teals and blues. That means the wind's pretty strong. Once you get into the kind of the teals, that's basically 60 and up on our color table. And that's what we've been seeing for a while now with this storm.
Crawford, more damage.
More wind damage coming into us from Crawford County, PA, north of Mercer. And yeah, it is now raining really hard from Unity back towards Lisbon, back towards Summitville and Salineville. Let's can we open up the camera app and pop up let's go to Columbiana on camera 2.
And another warning for Mercer and Venango until 2:45.
All right. We're going to switch our camera source here on camera 2 from Niles to Columbiana.
Any particular direction you want this?
No, let's just take a peek at it real quick. So ignore the banner at the top. This is Columbiana, not Niles. And you can see the flags fluttering, but looks like the worst of the wind is probably south and east of Columbiana right now. All right, we have a fresh warning that we want to look at. Oh, this is far northeastern Columbiana, just grazing northeastern Columbiana. So this fresh warning includes French Creek, north of New Lebanon, so just barely into Mercer. So if you're watching from the far northeastern tip of Mercer, the big storm that's up over Crawford County is just barely grazing you. This is mostly a miss for northeastern Mercer, but they drew the polygon just to catch northeastern Mercer.
It doesn't appear to be sinking south at all.
No, it's kind of due west-east, so that's another polygon that maybe a little sloppiness on how that was drawn. It happens. Down in Columbiana County, this is where, in our area, the worst of the weather is easily. Look at all the lightning that's occurring in the southwestern part of Columbiana. That's indicative of a storm that's at least maintaining its strength, if not strengthening some.
Yeah, that pink back there just off to the southwest of Salineville.
Yeah.
Might be a miss for the viewing area, but for Columbiana...
Looks like a hail core now that went through Carrollton earlier, and it's kind of right along 39. So where you're seeing some of these oranges. Now this product is a few minutes behind. It's what we call a derived radar product. So it takes a few minutes for the radar algorithm to do its thing and spit out some fresh data here. So this is a couple minutes old, but we did have some hail around Carrollton. That's probably between now Carrollton and Salineville along 39. Very twisty, windy road through there. Bad visibility and probably at least some pea-size hail and perhaps even up to quarter-size hail. All right, that's the Cleveland radar. Let's switch over to the Pittsburgh radar. The warning in Columbiana runs till 2:45, so a little less than half an hour to go. You're in the clear now. We're going to give you the all clear in Lisbon. We're going to give you the all clear in Summitville from the wind. Now you're getting a doozy of a thunderstorm, but the wind surge is now east of you. It's now south and east of Lisbon. Still some gusty breezes, but the worst of the wind now is down towards West Point. And just about to come into the Glenmore area along Wino Road. And then, of course, as you leave the Glenmore area, the 267 and 11 interchange, heading north on 11 and 7. And again, this is coming towards the Beaver Local School District. It's kind of there right now. It's going to come into Beaver Creek State Park. And getting some gusty winds up near Rogers, but I'm not seeing the teals and blues up near Elk Run and Rogers, kind of closer to Lisbon. Now all this is pretty much south and coming across the kind of the southern 1/3 of Columbiana County. Just want to show you the lightning data real quickly here, because while the worst of the wind is now pushing to the east, look at all the fresh lightning that's still occurring, and a lot of these are positive voltage lightning strikes, all those plus signs. Those tend to be stronger lightning strikes with more voltage. They tend to hit things on the ground more, so therefore are more dangerous. All lightning is dangerous, but we really want you to pay attention when we see all these clusters of plus signs. That is a lot of lightning in southwestern Columbiana County right now. 101 strikes, but 74 are positive. The ratio of total strikes to positive strikes is really something. Usually we see a lot more negative voltage strikes, but we're picking up on a lot of positive voltage lightning out there this afternoon. I'm going to post real quickly here on social media, so I'm going to pop off the screen for a minute. You're going to hear me typing, but I'm going to give social media a quick update. Okay, so just pop that onto Facebook and Twitter real quickly. Our warning runs another 24 minutes. This might be the last warning of the day for our area. Not real impressed with what's going on to the north. There's really nothing to the west. And so this Columbiana warning, once it expires at 2:45, that might be it for our viewing area today. But we've got a doozy of a storm that we still have to take seriously if you are downstream of this. In southeastern Columbiana County. So heads up East Liverpool area, anywhere near East Liverpool. Alright, so fresh warning now is just going to cover, so they drew a fresh polygon to include far eastern Columbiana, but also over to Beaver.
In the Pittsburgh, I don't know if you wanted to mention that or not.
What's that?
The National Weather Service Pittsburgh, Steve, what he said in there.
Alright, so
damage in Columbiana.
we've got a report of some trees down in Columbiana County. Details in a bit, so I'm not sure exactly where he's talking about, but I'm not surprised if we have some tree problems as a result of all this wind coming through. So again, this is rolling through Calcutta right now, just north of Calcutta on 170, heading through Beaver Creek, Glenmore area, still some gusty winds, and also some gusty winds right along 39 now near and east of Salineville. Apparently my post about, oh there it is, it just took a while. I was going to say my post about the wind in southeastern Columbiana didn't post, but just appeared. All right, so again, big windstorm. We have gotten one report of some tree damage somewhere, or trees down somewhere in Columbiana County. We're not sure where that is just yet. But I'm not surprised with 50 to 60 plus mile per hour winds coming east. No doubt we have some problems now in Columbiana County. I'm going to check in on some of the power outage numbers to see if we have any. Not really anything substantial just yet. Only 376 right now without power in Columbiana.
Those Mahoney numbers are down too.
Yeah.
Significantly.
Wouldn't be surprised if that number gets updated. I bet more people are without power somewhere in Columbiana.
Yeah.
That's coming through. So we're in the all clear now from the severe winds in Elk Run and Rogers and Lisbon, back towards Summitville as well. And you are not in any sort of warning polygon anywhere in western Columbiana, anywhere in Mahoning, Trumbull, or Mercer. All the action now is in the eastern and southern part of Columbiana County, where winds continue to blow through at 50 plus miles per hour. And a severe thunderstorm warning runs until 2:45, so another 20 minutes or so. In addition to all this wind, we have some very heavy rain, and thankfully maybe the lightning data is not quite as impressive as a few minutes ago. We're not seeing as many fresh strikes. And we like to see that. But we are getting some very heavy rain. Salineville, Yellow Creek, coming into Glenmore. Show you some of these rates. A couple inches per hour rates. Thankfully, the heavy rain only lasts a handful of minutes, or the heaviest rain only lasts a handful of minutes. But if this were to just park for an hour, which, again, it's not going to do, but if it were, we'd be talking about several inches per hour. Very heavy, heavy rain. Jessica says East Palestine just got rocked. I believe that. Eastern Columbiana now, East Palestine area, Unity, again, down towards Calcutta, just about to come into East Liverpool. You are getting rocked by a heavy thunderstorm. Still raining like crazy, and still some gusty winds. Back to the west, closer to West Point, closer to Salineville. Things are looking better in Lisbon. They're looking better in Hanoverton. And then all is pretty quiet once you get to the north in most of Mahoning County, with the exception of far southeastern Mahoning. All right, that's that Crawford County storm. They're still keeping an eye on that. Way up to the north, up here. Kind of did a 7-10 split this afternoon with the severe weather in a lot of Mercer County, and actually a lot of Trumbull County as well, with the exception of far southern Trumbull. A lot of the heavy storms went to the north and went to the south and kind of missed places like Sharon and Mercer and Grove City, and back towards Yankee Lake as well. Heavy stuff to your south and north, but it looks like you kind of lucked out for this afternoon. That's the nature of severe weather. It just kind of wants to do its own thing and doesn't necessarily follow roads or geographical boundaries or anything like that. Seeing some brighter echoes now in far southern Columbiana County. I wonder if this is some hail being picked up. Right along 39. Just what we need. In addition to all the wind and rain, probably at least getting some small hail now. Algorithm's not showing it just yet. Let me look at my other source. Yeah, I think we're getting some hail. Coming into Wellsville, 39. Right along 39. There's probably some hail. So heads up for that. Probably some hail in far southern Columbiana County approaching the Wellsville area. In addition to all of the wind and the rain. Again, take this wind seriously. I've been repeating this a few times. These kind of gusts are the equivalent of a low-end DF0 tornado. They can cause some of the same problems. 60 mile per hour wind gusts from a thunderstorm is just about the same as a 60 mile per hour wind from a low-end tornado. So we've had one report so far of trees down in parts of Columbiana, not sure where yet. and probably a risk of some power outages as well. We've got another 17 minutes to go on this warning. The heaviest of the winds, in other words, these brighter blue colors, these are going to start sinking out of Columbiana here probably by about 2:35. This is going to roll right through east of Liverpool. Still a wind and hail threat now, even in Wellsville. But the worst of the storm is going to try to get out of the county here by about 2:35. So that's for you in the southeastern part of Columbiana County. You got another 5, maybe 10 minutes to endure of this, and then things will get better. As far as the severe weather risk for the rest of the afternoon, I'm not going to give you the all clear just yet, but you know the fat lady's starting to warm up, if you will, in Mahoning County and Trumbull County, because there's not much going on to the north and west, and now that the heavy storms are passing to your south and east, stay weather aware this afternoon for a little while longer, but chances are, at this point, you're probably about done with any sort of severe weather threat in Mahoning County, in western Columbiana County, in Trumbull County, and even into a good chunk of Mercer County as well. We're not gonna guarantee that just yet, but things are looking up in those areas, despite a severe thunderstorm watch still being in effect. That watch is going to be discontinued pretty early, I think, this afternoon. So again, down in Columbiana County, from East Palestine down towards Calcutta on 170, and heading over towards the 39 corridor east of Salineville and coming into Wellsville, a doozy of a storm that's probably producing some hail now, in addition to gusty winds and torrential rain. This is coming into Wellsville. Again, the radar algorithm is a few minutes behind on the hail. My other source is showing the hail basically coming into Wellsville right now. Probably going to get some hailstones in East Liverpool, across the state line into Newell. Probably going to get some brief hail in through there. The worst of this storm probably going to try to impact areas down towards Mountaineer. Once you head deeper into the panhandle of West Virginia. And for those who might be watching over in Beaver County, PA, of course, the storm is coming into your area as we speak. I would say the overall worst weather in the entire region right now is in Wellsville. We're getting the wind, we're getting the rain, we're probably getting some decent-sized hail in the vicinity as well. Anyone down in Wellsville, let me know if you're seeing anything down there. Sam says wind and rain is hitting hard in East Liverpool. That looks right. Midland, PA, across the border, is losing power. So just east of East Liverpool, over across into the Midland area in PA. Katie says maybe some power outages over there. Again, in case you're joining us midstream this afternoon, we started this, what time did we start? About an hour ago?
Yeah.
Something like that. It's easy to lose track of time when you're doing this. For those just joining us, for the entire region this afternoon, severe thunderstorm watch was issued until 8 p.m. for all the counties in yellow, including our entire television viewing area. But I can tell you right now, this will be discontinued well before 8 o'clock. In fact, probably by 3:30 at the latest. I think we're going to be in the all clear. The Storm Prediction Center out in Norman, Oklahoma, issues these watches and then leaves it up to the local weather service offices to discontinue them at their discretion. And so I suspect we're going to see both Pittsburgh and Cleveland discontinue the watch for their counties mid-afternoon today as the severe weather threat winds down.
That Mercer warning until 2:45.
Yeah, so Pittsburgh is continuing the warning in the far northeastern corner of Mercer until, what did you say, 2:45?
Yeah.
So this warning polygon out here technically clips far northeastern Mercer, but I think the worst of the weather is to the east and to the northeast. So for those up near French Creek, far northeastern Mercer, you're getting a pretty good thunderstorm, but looks like the severe weather is likely staying to your north and east. Yeah, some gusty winds. Not real concerned about that right now. Rest of Mercer County, you're in pretty good shape. Getting some rain, briefly gusty wind, maybe a clap of thunder or two. Grove City, down towards Slippery Rock, over towards New Wilmington. But the weather certainly gets much, much worse once you're down into southeastern Columbiana, over into Beaver County, PA, where a severe thunderstorm warning rolls on for another 12 minutes. Matthew says no hail in Wellsville, just heavy rain and wind. All right. Once we lose these kind of teal and blue colors, we'll be done with the worst of the wind along 39 and near East Liverpool along the river, heading over towards Newell across the state line into West Virginia. Can real quickly just query a couple of these pixels. Across the state line, Chester to Newell, 50 to 60 mile per hour winds rolling through that area right now. And again, anyone near Mountaineer is no doubt getting a pretty good thunderstorm as we speak. Then the wind quickly diminishes, finally. Once you get north of East Liverpool, heading up 267 towards Glenmore, and heading up 11 and 30, things are starting to improve. Still a lot of rain and some lightning and thunder, but the strongest of the wind is now to the south and to the east.
Wayne County, storm damage. Out in Wayne County.
All right, so this line is most severe now in Columbiana and Beaver County, and then once you go south and west, closer to New Philly, closer to Uricksville and Denison and down towards Cambridge, pretty run-of-the-mill down there, although there was some wind damage a couple of hours ago in Wayne County, Ohio. Had some thunderstorm wind damage out there. Good news, though, for those who may be wondering, hey, what's the rest of the day hold? It looks like the severe weather threat is going to wind down pretty quickly this afternoon. Anyone north and west of this main line that's moving through southeastern Columbiana right now, chances are you're in pretty good shape for the rest of the day. Now, it's not going to be beautiful outside, but things are looking better. I'm not going to sound the complete all clear just yet because our front's still pretty far to the north and west. But I like the trends. And so if you're wondering if you're going to be able to play golf after work today, or get outside this evening, go for your run, or whatever you might want to do, chances are you're going to be in pretty good shape by dinner time. Not going to just issue a guarantee on that just yet because, again, the front's pretty far still to our north and west. Plot up the dew points. If you're like me and not a fan of how just kind of gross the air has felt the last few days, you're going to like this air mass coming in. Our current dew point's 71, but Detroit's 58, Chicago's 52. That's the drier air that's coming in. So our cold front itself, let me draw it real quickly here, is kind of like right here. Not to Columbus yet, not to Cleveland yet, but it's come through Detroit, it's come through Toledo over the last hour or so, and it will roll through here early this evening. And boy, is it going to feel different tomorrow. What do we have for a high tomorrow? 67?
Yeah.
67 for our high tomorrow with low humidity.
Yeah.
It's going to be just beautiful. And then Wednesday and Thursday look great as well.
Friday looks really nice.
It's going to get warm late this week, but the high dew point air doesn't come back till maybe the weekend?
Right.
So the
Trying to swap Saturday and Sunday for Thursday and Friday.
Yeah. Yeah, the end of this week, Thursday and Friday look nice. It'll be warmer, and then it looks like the humidity tries to come back some over the weekend with our next chance for showers and thunderstorms. All right, a couple more minutes to take the weather pretty seriously, though. If you're watching us from far southeastern Columbiana County around East Liverpool, and if you happen to be across the state line into Chester and Newell in Hancock County in West Virginia, yeah, one heck of a thunderstorm coming through right now. I'm going to check on my rain gauge if I haven't lost power. Looks like I've picked up about 1/3 of an inch of rain. I live kind of in the Glenmore area, north of East Liverpool and south of Lisbon, and my weather station's picked up about 1/3 of an inch. So decent, but not crazy. Not anything that's going to lead to any sort of widespread flooding problems or anything like that.
I think we're at just about 1/3 of an inch here for the day.
We've got about 1/3 of an inch here in downtown Youngstown for the day. Most of that was earlier, of course.
Yeah.
All right, so new severe thunderstorm warning covers the panhandle of West Virginia and down towards Pittsburgh area, Allegheny County, Beaver, Butler, Lawrence. So there's your new polygon that extends down towards downtown Pittsburgh. And the old polygon will be left to fizzle out here, coming up in a couple of minutes. You're in the clear in Salineville, you're in the clear in Lisbon, you're in the clear now in East Palestine. You're in the thick of it still in East Liverpool. The worst of it now pushing to your south in Calcutta. Still some heavy rain, but the worst of the wind now is pushing to the south of Glenmore and Calcutta. new warning just issued a moment ago includes Midland. It includes Moon Township near the Pittsburgh International Airport, and down towards Robinson as well, not quite to downtown Pittsburgh. I'm going to do one more check-in on the wind velocity data. All right, the worst of the wind is now across the state line, crossing the bridges on the river, and that's a tough trip on 30 now, coming out of Chester through that windy, hilly stretch on 30. Coming, if you've gone from East Liverpool to Pittsburgh on 30, you know this road. This is a tough road. It's windy and hilly, and it's no fun to drive on right now. Blinding rains, strong winds, and maybe some small hail still mixed in as well. But we're about ready to sound the all clear in southeastern Columbiana, and with that, we are going to wrap up our streaming coverage this afternoon. Again, I think the severe weather threat is going to wind down pretty quickly this afternoon across our area. I'm not seeing anything upstream, closer to Cleveland, closer to our front. We're going to keep an eye on that because until the front comes through, you know, maybe we try to get a couple of showers and storms, but the atmosphere pretty worked over at this point across our area. So anything new, I think, would have a hard time becoming a real player because the atmosphere has been worked over pretty good by our early afternoon thunderstorms across the area. So the severe thunderstorm watch will be discontinued at some point mid-afternoon. If you want to get outdoors this evening, chances are you're in pretty good shape. It's going to turn more comfortable, even though you might encounter a shower, and it might be still pretty cloudy for a time this evening. The severe weather risk is in the process of starting to wind down now that we are seeing things pushing to the southeast of the East Liverpool area. And so for Andrew, I'm Eric. Thanks for watching us on our streaming coverage this afternoon, and hope you have a good rest of your Monday.